All right, man. What's going on, YouTube? How you guys doing? Listen, I start off my Spotify podcast with like a little introduction. So I did a little introduction first on Spotify just to say what I was talking about in today's podcast. So I'm just telling you guys real quick right before I key my podcast on Spotify. I'm gonna just let you guys know what I'm talking about. And today I'm talking about expectations. So where you guys at when it comes to expectations, right? We are going to break it down and see how it's affecting your life, right? So let's key today's podcast. What's going on, guys? How you guys doing? It is Lieutenant Sal Blue, 28-year law enforcement veteran and the author of the top 25 mistakes en route to the good life, coming at you today with my daily podcast. That's right, guys. Each and every day for the rest of my life. Well, I don't know about that, but each and every day, guys, I'm going to come to you guys with my daily podcast of just mistakes that I've made, right? Mistakes in my life, mistakes that I put in my book, mistakes that I didn't put in my book. And I'm going to tell you guys, if I literally put my mistakes in a book, it'd be like War and Peace, right? That's how many mistakes I've made in my life. So I figured, what the hell? My don't give a shit muscle is really strong. So I'm going full transparency on you guys and telling you guys about the mistakes that I made so you can avoid them at all costs. That is what I'm doing, guys. I'm putting this out there to help you to have a better life because I feel that my purpose here on this planet is to give as much value as possible and also to give happiness, man. I want people to be happy. I'm generally always happy in my life. And my default to happiness is one thing that sets me up for that. But the fact of the matter is I keep the bar low because my gratitude is high, man. All I have to do is open my eyes in the morning and take a breath. And that starts my day. That starts a good day for me. So if you have anything more than that to make you happy, trust me, guys, it's going to be many days you're going to be disappointed. And trust me, I've been through the disappointing days and the disappointing times, right? So the first thing you want to do is you want to start your day off right. Start your day off with a smile. Get it started. But in today's podcast, man, as you guys know, we're talking about expectation. And so I like to base my podcast to give you guys a question on something to think about, right? Something to contemplate over as I talk through my daily podcast. And today's question is, guys, are you setting your, right? Are you setting your expectations, right? There you go. We're back at it. Okay. And I said expectations. Are you setting your expectations based on what someone else said you could achieve? That's the question for the day, guys. That's the question for the day. Even though I bumbled and mumbled through it a little bit, that is the question for the day, guys. And I'm going to say it one more time for all of you guys who like perfection. Me, I don't care about perfection. Let's just get it out there and get the message across. That's what I'm talking about, guys. So, expectations. Are you setting yours based on what someone else said you could achieve? Now, the setup for that is that when we were born, I believe this kind of kicked into play, especially when you were an infant, you were a child, right? You were young. Your parents were lords over you, right? You know, they created you, and they were your first people to ever be impressionable upon you in your life. And maybe they said something to you such as, my parents called me Sal, right? They said, Sal, I expected more from you, right? And when your parent says that, what do you go into? Yeah, I mean, some of you cry. Some of you cry. Some of you are sad. Some of you are disappointed. But most of us are hurt, right? We're hurt because we let somebody we love down, right? We let somebody we love down, and because of that, that voice of disappointment that they give us, it kind of begins to shape and mold us as human beings, as people on this planet, of either pleasing or not pleasing other people. So that voice of disappointment it changes us, guys. It changes us. Now, I want to say something, right? I could name 100 different times that my parents have said this to me coming up, right? And and so when they say it to me, what do I start to do, right? My parents are holding me, right, to a higher standard, right? They're holding me to a higher standard that maybe, possibly, I don't know, because obviously they never revealed mistakes to me the way I'm revealing my mistakes to you. But they would say that to me and they would never give me a solution to the problem. So they would say, hey, I expected more from you. But they would never say what I should have done in advance. They would always tell me this after I've made the mistake, after I didn't accomplish what they felt I could have accomplished, after they felt that I disappointed them in my actions or whatever I did. And a lot of times they would say, oh, you knew better, right? You know, my parents taught me basic things, right? They taught me such as be kind, right? The basics. Be kind, don't lie, right? Eat healthy and work hard, right? Some of the basic things that my parents taught me coming up. But they never gave me solutions in advance when they told me that they were disappointed in something that I did, right? An action that I did. And a lot of times I think it's because it caught them as a surprise, right? It caught them as a surprise that whatever came about, something else outside of them influenced me to do something that they didn't expect me to do. So they gave me that I'm disappointed in you speech. Now many times, right, in our minds, that connection forms something in us and it sets us up for failure in life. And that connection is this, guys. That connection is our desire to please others despite our goals or what we want for ourselves, right? And if we're always striving to please others, to make others happy, despite what we want for ourselves, that is a recipe for disaster, right? That is a recipe for us not to have what we want out of life, not to get what we want out of life, because, right, now you are manipulated by what other people either feel that you can achieve, right, or what other people want for themselves to see you achieve. And this is how it happens, right? If you are basing a lot of things you do based on what somebody else tells you can do, sometimes you have people who are envious of you, of your skills or things that you can do, so they will try to stop you from achieving beyond what they achieve to make themselves feel good. A lot of people do that. A lot of adults do that to younger children, okay? And a lot of employees do it to employees, co-workers, friends, so on and so forth, right? It happens all around us each and every day. And so because instilled in you in a young age was your desire to please, what do you try to do? You tone it back. You take it back a notch, right? I was a middle of the pack guy because I didn't want to hurt people, right? I was a middle of the pack guy because I didn't want to disappoint a lot of people. I didn't want to be the guy who was the overachiever. You doing too much, as they would say, right? They would always say I was doing too much. And so in order not to do too much, I would pull back. And that is what a lot of us do in life. We pull back on our desires because other people is telling us what they expect from us. They have laid out our life and how we should be achieving things in our life. So I want you guys to understand that as I go forward with this. Now, what this does for us is this stops us from trying too hard, right? And I know it's done it to me because of our fear to disappoint others. Now, our fear to disappoint others goes a very long way in life, right? And like I said before, if the wrong person, okay, is influencing you, they could literally send you down the path to the bad life. And all on the basis of making themselves feel good. They want to feel good about themselves, so They'll send you down the path to the bad life, and hopefully you'll make it out, right? So I'm trying to keep you guys from going down that path to the bad life, as always, right? But that fear to disappoint actually stops us from trying things that we think we will not succeed in. You understand that, guys? So a lot of things that we think we won't succeed in, we don't try them at all, because the people who we care for, who we love, we don't want to disappoint them, and we don't want them to see us as a person who did not do what they said they were going to do, right? A person who has not achieved what they say they're going to achieve. And so now, instead of trying and failing, what you do is you don't try at all. You don't try at all, and you limit yourself to just things, simple things that you know you can achieve. Things that are easy. And not only things that are easy, but things that don't make the people above you feel uncomfortable. That is also something that we do, right? We do things to make people that are above us not feel uncomfortable with our skills and abilities. And I don't want you guys to do that. I want you guys to just go for it. Go for the gusto, right? So eventually, right, when you're doing that, when that fear of stopping to achieve something, what it creates in your mind eventually, what develops, because it's a habit now, right? It develops into our own self-limiting beliefs that we set for our lives. So it started off with you not wanting to disappoint somebody, and then evolved into a self-limiting belief. So that person does not even have to be around for you now till you stop trying things because you don't want to disappoint, right? You start believing that, yes, I can't do that. I can't achieve that. I can't make this happen. You do it over and over again in your life. And once you do that and it starts to go in your mind, you start to actually believe it. You start to actually believe that you can't do things that you would have in any other case set as one of your goals of something you wanted to achieve, right? You limit your goals, you limit your abilities, and you limit yourself. And I don't want you guys to do that. This is why I'm talking about this today, because I think this is very, very important. You know, I don't stop my kids from trying to do what they think they can do. I don't stop them from rebelling because of the fact that I tell my kids that I'm not in control of your life. You don't have to rebel against me. It's your life. You can do whatever you please. All I'm going to do is show you solutions to your problems, okay? And if you choose not to make that mistake, then that's on you. But if you choose to make that mistake on your own, then that's also on you. It is your life. You have complete control over it. And I tell my kids that all the time. So I don't try to lord over them that you have to do this or you have to do that based on what I say. And that's just my parenting skill. That's what I do. You know, it is opposite of what my parents did, but it doesn't make it a good or bad thing. I think that parenting has to have different variables based on your circumstances and your children, right? So you have to parent based on what you feel is best for your child, and also you have to make constant adjustments in parenting. That's for damn sure, guys. But when you have these self-limiting beliefs that you set for your life, right, after years of living with these beliefs, you start to identify with them. And that is probably the biggest problem for us, that you actually identify with your self-limiting beliefs as who you are. But the truth is, someone else told you who you were. It is not you that actually made up your mind towards these limiting beliefs. Somebody placed this in your mind and continually told you they were disappointed, which then slowed your whole learning and growth process down to the point of where now you believe that this is your limit, this is your ceiling. You can't get beyond this because you don't possess the skills and you aren't able to learn those skills to do more and be more and become more. Okay, so I want you guys to understand that someone else placed that limiting belief in your head, and you have to begin today, right now, to escape from that limiting belief. And so I'm going to tell you guys how to do it, right? How to get out of that inability, okay, to achieve what you want to achieve because you believe that you have to. See, because the truth is that there are no limits in life. There are no limits in life, right? Um, on what we can achieve except the limits that we place on ourselves. You have locked yourself into a certain type of lifestyle. You have locked yourself into a certain type of income. You have locked yourself into a certain type of achievement of your abilities. You've locked yourself into that, right? And in locking yourself into that, all you're doing is making come true something else that someone put in your head as far as what they expected of you, right? When you begin to live your life based on someone else's expectations, right, you take away your own gifts. You have been given gifts to achieve all you could possibly achieve in this life, right? And so what you have to do is you have to begin increasing your expectations. Now, why am I saying this? I'm not saying this because your parents or some other individual see you at some individual you see as an authority figure told you to do so, but because you were placed on this earth, man, to do one thing, right? And that one thing is to live life to your fullest potential by getting the most out of the gifts that you were given when you placed here. Getting the most out of your gifts. How do you get the most out of your gifts? Things that you were put on this planet to do. How do you get the most out of them, guys? Well, I'll tell you one thing you don't do. You don't allow someone else to dictate, okay, the power of your gift. You don't allow it. You also don't allow someone who couldn't achieve something tell you that you can't achieve it because they didn't achieve it. That's another thing you don't do, right? I see that often. A person doesn't achieve something. Sometimes it can be a parent that didn't achieve it, and they'll sit there and they'll tell their child it's impossible. You know, why would you ever do that as a parent? It's beyond me. Because you don't know someone else's limits, right? And you do not know someone else's gifts. So don't try to put a governor on them and gauge down their potential. Allow them to be whoever they're going to be, right? And at the same time, don't put the brakes on your potential. Be who you need to be by tapping into your potential and getting the most out of your gifts, right? Now, you need to live your life to your fullest potential by getting the most out of the gifts that you were given to you. But, right, this will only happen when you begin to choose your direction. You have to choose a direction, guys. As I said yesterday, if you don't choose a direction, someone else will choose it for you. Right? You got to go somewhere. You got to go in a specific direction. You have to choose it. Choose what type of life you're going to have and then go for it. And it may not happen for a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, whenever it happens, guys. All right? But the bottom line is this is your direction, and you have to be consistent about it, and you have to do it every single day. So choose your direction and go for it. That's number one, right? The second thing you need to do is define your values. Okay, if you are not working with a set of values, guys, then guess what? You can be influenced to go in another direction as well, right? So your number one, you have to choose a direction, but you have to have a strong set of values that you do not compromise, okay, that will take you in that direction. So that when someone else comes to you and suggests something that is outside of your values and your direction, you can shoot them down with strength and conviction, guys. You can do it strong, okay? These values are going to dictate how you're going to live your life. Truly going to dictate how you live your life. You have to have a set of values and you have to stick to them, guys. And it doesn't matter what your values are, okay? If they benefit you, then stick to those values, right? Because in my life, One of my values is giving value, right? So that is my direction in life, right? So giving value through happiness. That's my direction that I want to go, right? And I don't compromise that. I don't compromise the fact that every single day I want to give someone value through happiness. And and when you decide to do something like that, you need a strong set of values because people will try to manipulate you and change you based on how they're feeling that day, right? You know, somebody will come to you and they're depressed and they're sad and they'll try to bring you down to their level. Somebody will be upset with you and they will try to bring you down to where they're at and upset because, hey, number one, hurt people, and number two, misery enjoys company. So you want to avoid both of those, right? You want to avoid both of those, especially if your direction is happiness for your day each and every day. Now, I know that this is one of my values is happiness, and it is my default, right? It has always been my default for a very, very long time. And some people get upset because I'm always happy. But the fact of the matter is, I keep the bar very, very low to my happiness, right? All I basically have to do is wake up, guys. I wake up and I take a breath and I realize I'm alive and I'm already happy, despite problems I have. It could be financial problems, it could be health problems, it could be family problems. It doesn't matter what the problems are. I start my day off happy. I start my day off with a smile. I start my day off with a big, deep breath of gratitude for another day being on this earth. So that is one of the things that I do, guys, right? But with this in place, right, no matter what happens in my life, I always find a moment in my day, all right, to be grateful and smile because of it. So, and I'm telling you guys, I've had tons of hardships, heartaches, pains, and tragedies in my life. And I have always found a seed of happiness in my day that I could be grateful for and smile. Okay, no matter what happens, right? And I could be crying all day, right? From something that happened, maybe lost somebody I loved or care for. I could be crying all day, but I'm going to stop for a moment and say, I'm crying because we had great moments together. And I'm going to smile because of that, guys. And so that is something that you guys have to begin to do. Find a moment in your day to be grateful and smile because of it. If happiness is one of your goals, guys, I'm not even telling you to make that one of your goals, but I do suggest that you are extremely adaptable if you make happiness one of your goals because things happen all of the time. Okay, and like I said, guys, obviously every day of my life doesn't always go as planned. It doesn't go as planned. That's just how life is. Life doesn't always go as planned, right? So my rules to happiness, right, allow me to adapt to my circumstances. Grow from it, right, and still enjoy my life, guys, and still enjoy my life. And I'm telling you guys right now, as I started off this podcast with the question of, are you setting your expectations based on what someone else said you could achieve? And that's what I started this podcast off with, guys. And I'm going to end it with this, guys. You have to regain control of your life. You have to regain control of your life, right? And the only way you're going to regain control of your life is have a firm direction and a solid set of values. So, listen, I'm going to wrap it up for today. Like I said before, at the beginning of this podcast, I kind of did this on the fly. And I stumbled and bumbled a little bit, but hopefully I got a solid message across to you guys, and you guys get the most out of today's message. All right. So this is Lieutenant Sal Blue. Make sure you guys hop on over to my website, lieutenantsalblue.com, where you can pick up a copy of my book, Top 25 Mistakes En Route to the Good Life. right? I got it going for free, so you can grab a copy for free. You can also do an upsell for my audiobook. Pick that up. If you have Audible, guys, you can get that for free if you have Audible. You could download my book, play it at twice the speed. You could be done with it in a day, man. You could be done with it in a day. You can also digitally download my book. It's on Amazon as well. But I prefer that you guys get it from my website because I got the deals, the discounts, and tons of other treats that I'm giving you just to introduce you to the Lieutenant Sound Blue world of happiness and giving value and making less mistakes. So make sure you guys go on over there, check me out, as well as check me out on all the social platforms, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, okay, Twitter, and go on over and check out the group Top 25 Mistakes group, where you guys can meet up with second halfers to help you first halfers have a better life. So that's it for today, man. You guys have a fantastic evening. This is Lieutenant Sal Blue signing off, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Deuces.